Thank you, Simon. Thank you, everyone. My name is Alejandro Perez, and I'm a researcher in the Machine Learning and Language Processing Group from Universitat Politécnica de Valencia in Spain. And I'll be presenting our submission to the Blither Challenge 2021 edition. So I'll start with a brief summary of our system. We participated in the hub task, which was about building a single speaker Spanish TTS system from around 5 hours of studio quality recordings. We used no additional data nor any other kind of pre-trained models other than these provided by the organization for building our models. As pretty much everyone else, we developed a two-stage neural TTS model comprising a non-autoregressive sequence-to-sequence acoustic model for the text-to-spectrogram task and GAN-based vocoder for the spectrogram-to-wave task. And just let me spoil the evaluation results here. So the proposed system obtained very satisfactory results in terms of speech naturalness, as only one system was able to reach significantly higher naturalness MOS scores. Regarding the data processing, we just follow some common procedures. So we extracted phoneme sequences from the original text by using the open source eSpeak grapheme to phoneme tools. We downsampled all recordings to 22 kilohertz, trimmed the leading and trailing silence, and extracted 100 bin log-mel spectrograms, which we min-max normalized to lie in the 0 to 4 range. And here is a table summarizing the resulting training dataset. So we have approximately a total of 5,000 utterances, accounting for 5.2 hours of speech data. We depict here our non-autoregressive acoustic model. It follows an encoder-decoder architecture with explicit duration modeling. Starting at the bottom of the figure, our encoder follows tacotron 2, where we have a stack of 3 1D convolutional layers followed by a BLSTM. Our system was originally developed for multilingual and multi-speaker TTS, but of course, we do not use speaker nor language embeddings here for this task. The encoder hidden states are upsampled according to the predicted phoneme durations. We used the Gaussian upsampling method from Google's non-attentive tacotron, which has been shown to improve speech naturalness compared with the vanilla upsampling method. We also add relative positional embeddings to the upsampled encoder hidden states, accounting for the relative position of the frame with respect to the corresponding phoneme. And finally, a 2-layer BLSTM decoder outputs the resulting spectrogram frames. For training, we use an L1 loss and a structural similarity index measure for the spectrogram reconstruction loss, and a Haber loss for logarithmic duration prediction. As you know, phoneme durations are usually extracted either from an autoregressive TTS model or an ASR force aligner tool. But here we propose an autoencoder architecture to extract phoneme durations from the training data. So our force aligner autoencoder is comprised of a speech-to-text encoder and a text-to-speech decoder, where we use an auxiliary CTC loss on the encoder outputs and an L1 loss for the spectrogram reconstruction that is backpropagated also to the encoder. We see multiple benefits from using this architecture to extract phoneme durations. So it trains significantly faster than autoregressive TTS models. It brings improved robustness compared to attention-based models. And also, when compared to pure ASR-based force aligner tools, the spectrogram reconstruction loss probably helps obtaining more suitable alignments for the TTS task. We trained HiFi-GAN V1 vocoder on the provided dataset. We initially trained the model for 500 case steps on the ground truth spectrograms, and then fine-tuned the model on the predicted ground truth aligned spectrograms for an additional 100 case steps. And this helped reducing artifacts and glitches in the audio produced by the mismatch between training and inference conditions. Here you can see the naturalness results from all listeners. Our system was assigned the letter J. And as I mentioned, our submitted system is in this second group of 4 systems with similar naturalness scores. We are very satisfied with these results, particularly considering no external data was used to train the models. And this is pretty obvious, but we are, of course, convinced that our system can benefit from more data to produce more naturalness, more natural and realistic speech. Here we show the intelligibility results from the Harvard test from paid participants, where our system achieved the lowest error rate, despite being no significant difference in this respect between all other systems but system N. And last, here are the speaker similarity results from all participants, where our system obtained a mean score of 3.3 compared to 4.1 of real recordings. So that's pretty much all about our system. So let me draw here some conclusions. We have assessed explicit duration acoustic models can robustly generate natural sounding speech, even if trained only on 5 hours of speech data. You know, it's usual to train this kind of models with more than 20 hours usually. Also, the proposed force aligner auto-uncover model can learn suitable alignments for the TTS task faster than attention-based models. HiFi-GAN vocoder can generate high-quality audio trained on 5 hours of high-quality recordings. And we have experienced how neural vocoders suffer from the exposure bias problem, and that this can be fine-tuned on the ground truth aligned features to reduce the audio glitches. And thank you everyone for your attention. If you have any questions or
please feel free to raise hands or use chat. I was a little curious about speaker similarity. Obviously, the statistical significance is one aspect, but if you're only using the training data from one speaker, what do you think could explain why listeners thought it wasn't so similar? It clearly didn't sound like some other speaker.
Yeah, so this is very curious since we have no really explanation about these results. In terms of speaker similarity, we were surprised that our system was different from other systems. As subjectively, if I listen to all the different participant systems, I would say it's exactly the same speaker. So I would rate 5 to all of the systems presented. But I think, or in my opinion, I think people was rating something different from pure similarity between speakers. Probably they were rating also if prosody was also similar to the original speaker or some other factor that might be affecting this metric. So as I understand speaker similarity, it's just saying if this speaker is the same as this other speaker or how similar are the voices, but not, it shouldn't account for prosody differences between the synthetic and the real samples. But yeah, as you said, we are surprised with these results in terms of speaker similarity, since we used no other data than training data, and in our opinion, subjectively speaking, the speaker similarity is really close to the original recordings.
Yeah, I'll be interested if other people have opinions in the chat, or at the end of the day, this may be just a limitation of how we're evaluating this. And yeah, I think you're okay to blame the listening test, essentially. You were doing very, very politely. And I think it's worth reminding everybody why the speaker similarity section is there. It's there from when we moved from concatenative synthesis to HMM synthesis, and it became possible to use other speakers' data. And it's really just to prevent people entering arbitrary voices. So it came in first as a check that people actually used the target data. And now it's one of those metrics we always report. But I don't think we've ever been very confident that we really know how to measure it, because it's a weird task for listeners to do. As you're saying, as a native speaker yourself, you think they all sound like the same person across all systems. So clearly these other listeners are doing something else. And it's a poorly defined task, I think. So I'm always happy to take suggestions for future challenges on what to do with this.